What's going on, guys? My name's Hypnostic and welcome to a brand new MW3 video. In this one I'll be showing you the top 5 weapons to use for zombies. Of course these are the top 5 weapons in my opinion, and I won't be including any wonder weapons in this list. Before we get into that, I quickly want to thank U4GM for sponsoring this video. U4GM is a professional Call of Duty service and they'll help you unlock all the rare schematics, including the new classified schematics. They'll even help you unlock the Borealis camo. If you're interested in this, then click the link in the description below and use my code HIP for 5% off. Alright, so at the number 5 spot, we've got a Modern Warfare 2 weapon, being the Crossbow. Now, the Crossbow was at one point the most overpowered weapon to use in zombies, but it did get nerfed a fair bit. In the past, you were able to one-shot tier 3 zombies with the thermite bolts, but now it would take 2 or 3 shots, which is still decent. However, the explosive bolts and the tear gas bolts are still pretty powerful. The build I'd recommend using is on screen right now. We've got the 28 strand cable for some extra bullet velocity, the VLK laser 7MW for faster ADS and sprint to fire speed, the DR6 handstop underbarrel attachment for an overall mobility boost. For your arm attachment, you'll want to use the Carbon Elite V3 for quicker ADS and movement speed. And for your bolts, I'd recommend using the Blast Cap 20-inch explosive bolts or the FTAC Caustic 20-inch tear gas bolts. Both of these are very effective. In this run here, we used the tear gas bolts and we were even able to take out a mega abomination with it. I'd probably go with the blast cap explosive bolts though, as they do seem to be slightly more effective. But yeah, the Crossbow is definitely a solid choice and you'll be able to take out all the HVT bounty contracts in the tier 3 zone without too much of an issue. And that's exactly why I decided to place this at number 5. Now let's move on to number 4. At the number 4 spot, we've got the Akimbo Ret. I've had a lot of people reach out to me lately asking me to use these things, and honestly they did not disappoint. The build I'd recommend using is on screen right now. You'll want to use the Akimbo Ret rare grip attachment just so you have double the firepower. For your trigger action, you'll want to use the Bruin Express trigger for the increased fire rate. Of course, you'll want to have the 50 round drum mag attachment, which means you'll effectively have 100 bullets and that gets doubled after pack-a-punching. The CS15 Scarlet mounted laser for increased sprint to fire speed and close quarter combat accuracy. And finally, the Ret long barrel for increased bullet velocity and range. You're super mobile with these things, which is really good for farming contracts in the tier 3 zone because you definitely want to be moving as fast as possible in that area. Whether you've got a whole bunch of zombies you need to wipe out or you're trying to take out some HVTs, the Akimbo Ret are a great choice overall, and that's exactly why I put these in the number 4 spot. Let's move on to number 3. At the number 3 spot, we've got the Akimbo Wasp Swarms. Now, I've been running these bad boys for weeks now and they've never let me down. They have a lot of ammo and an insane fire rate, which means you'll be shredding through zombies with them. The build I'd recommend using is on screen right now, and I want to thank my friend Coburn for sending me this build. You'll want to use the Wasp Akimbo Brace stock conversion kit in order to Akimbo the Wasp Swarm, the .G3P04 laser for increased hip recoil control, hip fire accuracy, and sprint to fire speed, the Wasp Reckless 90 long barrel for increased bullet velocity and range, the S37C DL Breacher Device S muzzle for an improved hip fire spread, and of course the 100 round drum mag, so you've got 200 bullets, which turns to 400 bullets once pack-a-punch. Now, I've used this thing to take out the Red Worm, to complete sport control contracts, HVT contracts, and just for clearing out large groups of zombies in the tier 3 zone. You're so quick with these things, and with the insane fire rate and damage output, you'll have no issues here in the tier 3 zone. They definitely deserve to be at the number 3 spot. Now let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we've got the RG80 Launcher. Now this thing is just insane. For testing purposes, I decided to do an escort contract in the tier 3 zone solo, which is probably one of the hardest contracts to do as a solo player in the tier 3 zone due to the high volume of zombies and HVTs you'll have to fight off while protecting the tank. I had no issues while doing this contract and absolutely obliterated any zombie that came our way, and those annoying disciples, yeah, no problem at all. You can't put any attachments on the RGL, so of course there's no build to it. Just bring it in, use an Aether tool, and get it to Pack-a-Punch tier 3, and you can thank me later. I'd personally recommend using this as a secondary weapon, so for example, you could run the Akimbo Ret to take out some of the HVTs and just use the RGL to take out the large groups of zombies, or just keep it to complete contracts that spawn a lot of them, such as the Spore Control contract or the Escort contract. However, it is still possible to take out HVTs such as the Mega Abomination using this thing. You could even add the Brain Rot ammo mod to it, and because you'll damage so many zombies with just one shot, you'll always have zombies that turn and fight for you. I honestly love using this thing and had to include it in this list. Now, before we move on to the number 1 spot, I just quickly want to thank each and every one of you guys who have subscribed to the channel and helped me reach 6k subs. You're all amazing and your support means the world to me. At the number 1 spot, we have the most overpowered weapon in zombies right now. This thing will one-shot tier 3 zombies and take out Mega Abominations and other HVTs with ease. The gun we're talking about is a Lockwood 680. The attachments I'd recommend using are as follows. You'll want to use the sawed-off stock attachment for a huge boost to your sprint to fire speed, movement speed, aim walking speed, and ADS speed. The Expressolite bolt for the increased rechambering speed. The VLK Laser 7MW attachment for the increased ADS and sprint to fire speed. The Lockwood Defender Heavy Long Barrel for the increased tube ammo capacity, bullet velocity, and range. And the most important attachment is a 12 gauge slug ammunition. Now that does mean you'll have to ADS with it, which isn't too much of an issue, especially with this build, as you'll have an insane ADS speed. With this build, you'll be one-shotting zombies at Pack-a-Punch 3, and you'll have no issues whatsoever running around in the tier 3 zone farming contracts. This has been my go-to weapon for the past few days, and I'm honestly considering making a video using just this gun alone. If you guys are interested in seeing a video just around this gun, let me know in the comments below. But anyways guys, that's gonna be it for me. Hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, then please be sure to hit that like button, comment with any suggestions for future videos, and subscribe to show your support to the channel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night wherever in the world you are, and as always, goodbye.